everyone, I hope you're all well and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mrs. Smith and I'm a Christian, and I walk about and talk about all sorts of things from a Christian point of view. So today I was walking around in Carlton Marshes Nature Reserve in Lowestoft in Suffolk in the UK. My husband and I are having a little breakaway before Christmas, so I thought I'd share with you a little bit of one of the walks we are doing. Carlton Marshes is situated in the Waveney Valley on the Suffolk-Norfolk border. There's a visitor centre here. It's free entry and parking is only £3 for the day. There are different walks as well, and some are fully accessible for wheelchairs, pushchairs and mobility scooters. I think actually you can hire mobility scooters here as well. And there's also a cafe with disabled toilets. So it's a really great and affordable place to come for the day, and even when it's a cold day it's absolutely beautiful, and there is so much wildlife here. It's unbelievable. Well, it's that time of year again, isn't it? The shops are full of Christmas things. The TV is non-stop adverts for everything that you must buy for Christmas, and it's kind of been in our faces in the UK for, I don't know, since about August. In the UK here anyway, and there's no escape really. And as a Christian, I go to church, and part of church at this time of year is all about Advent. So what images are conjured up in your mind when you think about the word Advent? I have to say, when I think about the word Advent, I'll confess, I think about those big Advent calendars full of chocolatey things that we can eat every single day of December, usually for breakfast. I don't actually eat much chocolate though, but in the past I have had bought for me by my lovely husband other types of Advent calendars that contain beauty gifts or Lego gifts. Yes, I'm into Lego. Or Christmas ornament gifts, and those things are absolutely lovely to open every day, and it gives you something to look forward to. And you know what, the prices range from something like £1 to, well, you can pay £1,000 for an advent calendar these days. It is ridiculous. But where did the idea of advent calendars actually come from, and have they got anything to do with the real Advent or Advent wreaths or Christmas? Well, actually, Advent calendars have been around for a pretty long time. The first known Advent calendar was handmade actually in around about 1851. And parents, usually Protestant and very well educated parents, made them for their children to help their kids to kind of visualise the lead up to Christmas. And they were often made from wood and usually contained handmade small wrapped gifts. They didn't have doors on them though until much later. But the first printed Advent calendar though was created in the early 1900s by a German publisher, Gerhard Lang. And those calendars didn't have gifts in them, they just had small pictures on them, one for each day between December the 1st and December the 24th. And it wasn't until the 1920s actually that Lang decided to add small doors to the Advent calendar, giving each little picture an element of surprise. So in the 1930s, Advent calendars were changed again, and Bible verses were added onto them. And chocolate Advent calendars didn't actually appear until the late 1950s, and Cadbury's, one of the biggest makers of chocolate Advent calendars, well, they didn't start making their chocolate calendars until 1971 and didn't put them into continuous production until 1993. So although it feels like we've had chocolate Advent calendars around forever, it's not actually been that long in the grand scheme of things. So that's Advent calendars. But what does the word Advent actually mean? Well, if you look in the dictionary, it will tell you that the word Advent means either the arrival of a notable person or a notable thing, or it'll tell you that Advent is the first season of the church year leading up to Christmas. and including the 4 preceding Sundays before Christmas. But the word Advent actually comes from the Latin word adventus. I'll put it up on the screen for you, and it means something approaching or something arriving. And it kind of gives the idea of waiting expectantly for something. So in a Christian church, the season of Advent first cropped up in the church around the 4th and 5th centuries. We're not quite sure, but around that time. So way before Advent calendars were created. And originally it lasted, much like Lent, for 40 days. In later years, the Advent we know today of the 4 Sundays before Christmas Day was developed. But Advent in the Christian church is a season of expectation and preparation as the church starts to think about and celebrate the arrival of Jesus Christ from, well, 3 different perspectives, really. Firstly, his arrival on the earth as a baby, the Nativity. Secondly, his arrival into our lives and into our hearts. And thirdly, his arrival back to the earth, which hasn't happened yet, also known as the second coming, which I have spoken about a bit on my videos in the past. Advent also falls at the darkest time in the year, and symbols of darkness and light are sort of demonstrated throughout Advent and Christmas in Christian churches. You know, we believe that Jesus brought light into the darkness, and so candles are used to give light as a symbol of that. Church decorations are usually kept quite simple though, but purple is a traditional colour that is used quite a lot. We also use in the Christian church something called the Advent Wreath. I'm sure you probably would have seen it, if not in real life, then you would have seen probably a picture of it. And the Advent wreath itself is usually made up of a circle of kind of Christmassy greenery on the outside. And that circle of Christmassy greenery is there to represent God's infinite love for us and the eternal nature of God. Like a circle, it's never ending. The materials of the circle part of the Advent wreath are also used to help us to reflect on the nature of God. Traditionally, the circular part of the Advent wreaths have been made of evergreen leaves like pine or fir, which are called evergreen because they keep their green colour beyond the season in which they're collected. So that symbolises the everlasting life that we can find through Jesus. And even the holly too in the wreath, you know, with its spiky leaves and its red berries, is there as a reminder of the crown of thorns that Jesus had to wear and his blood that was shed on the cross for us as well. And even the pine cones can be used to symbolise resurrection, eternal life and regeneration because of the way that pine cones hold on to their seeds and they regenerate themselves. So, you know, this type of greenery on the Advent wreath can be traced all the way back to the 16th century in Germany, actually. And then alongside all that, you have 5 candles in the middle of the circle of greenery. There are 4 candles around the inside of the circle and 1 in the middle. And, you know, different Christian denominations sometimes use different coloured candles for their Advent wreaths, sometimes matching the colours of the candles to the vestments or the robes worn by the clergy during Advent services. Sometimes red candles are used and sometimes purple candles and even a pink one. But interestingly, the addition of different coloured candles has only been a thing since 1839. Different Christian denominations also give the individual candles different names as well, but the 4 candles of the Advent wreath represent the 4 Sundays of Advent, and they symbolise different things. And the 5th candle is lit on either Christmas Eve at midnight, Mass, or on Christmas Day, to represent the birth of Jesus. And this candle, when it's added to the Advent wreath, is typically white, and it's also usually a bit bigger than the other candles, and it is placed right in the centre of the Advent wreath as well. So one candle is lit each Sunday before Christmas, and the candles are lit in a specific order each week. Again, as I said, different Christian denominations use different colours and give the candles different meanings as well. And there are lots of variations, in fact. So I'm just going to pick one type and go with that just to give you an idea. You may, if you go to church, you may call your candles different things in your church, but that's absolutely fine. So on the fourth Sunday before Christmas, the first candle is lit. And that candle is sometimes called the Matriarchs and Patriarchs candle. And that's lit to remember faith that has been passed down by generations of parents to their children and so on. And it's also a reminder to us, to pass on our faith to others as well. So on the third Sunday before Christmas, the second candle is lit along with the first candle. And we remember the prophets with that candle. So the people who foretold the birth of Jesus Christ and gave us hope of a Messiah coming. So on the second Sunday before Christmas, the first, second and the third candle is lit for John the Baptist, who prepared the way for Jesus's arrival. This is also sometimes known as the shepherd's candle too, and that one can be pink sometimes. And on the last Sunday before Christmas, the first three candles are lit, and then the fourth candle is lit as well, and we remember Mary, the mother of Jesus, and her journey to Bethlehem in preparation of the birth of Jesus. Then, as I said, on Christmas Day, or sometimes at midnight mass on Christmas Eve, in all Christian denominations, actually, the middle white candle is lit. The white candle is always known as the Christ candle, and that represents the birth of Jesus. And the white represents the purity of Jesus's life as well. The candles are lit in the same order each week, so that by the fourth week the candles have burnt down by different amounts. It might actually surprise you to know that in the UK, the Advent wreath was virtually unheard of until around 1965, so not that long ago, when the UK children's TV programme, Blue Peter, demonstrated how to make one. And it was only in the 1980s that the Church of England started to advise people on how to incorporate Advent wreaths into their church Advent services. So not that long ago, really. It might seem like a strange old thing to do during Advent, light all these candles. But I was thinking about it and I thought, when we're expecting guests to arrive at our homes, we turn the lights on, right? We sometimes put the outside light on to make it welcoming. We make our homes light and warm. We anticipate someone's arrival and we make it a welcoming place for people to come. So in Advent, Christians prepare their homes and their churches for the arrival of Jesus. We anticipate his arrival and we light an extra candle each week, and so the light gets brighter and brighter as we get nearer and nearer to Christmas Day, to symbolise the day on which the light of the world, Jesus, was born. Okay, now before you all start moaning at me in those comments about Jesus not being born on the 25th of December, I am aware of that. It's not a legalistic thing, okay? It's just a symbol, something that we do to help us to remember what happened before Jesus's birth and what happened after he was born and what he did for us all. To be honest, no one really knows the exact date that Jesus was born, actually. So, us Christians have kind of picked a date and gone with it. We've chosen that as the day we celebrate his birthday. And why not? There's nothing wrong with that. So, I kind kind of hope that this little overview has given you a good general idea of what an Advent wreath is and why it's used. And maybe, I don't know, maybe next time you see an Advent wreath, you'll have a think about and remember the symbolism that's actually woven into it and why it's done. It's not just a pretty decoration. And maybe as you enjoy the glow of the Christmas candles on that wreath, you can remember the light of the world who came to earth over 2,000 years ago and who is ready to come into your life and into your heart if you're just willing to let him. If you've enjoyed my walk and talk today, then please do hit that like and subscribe button for me. And thank you so much for clicking on my video today. And if you've made it this far through and stuck with me, then you are an absolute superstar. But until next time, God bless you all. And I really do hope you all enjoy the run up to Christmas this year and don't eat too much of that chocolate. Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.